So what do you think? I know it's a little ripply. I put the first coat on with the fiberglass. Then I put second coat on a day later. And that was yesterday. Today is Wednesday. But I think I squeegeed it a little too much. Because if you look, I don't know how well you can actually see this. Maybe if I block some of the light. Nah, it doesn't seem to help. Oh, there, that's okay. You can see the pattern of the fiberglass here. Whereas, like over here, you can't, and it's just a little ripply. I think that is mostly because one, I put the epoxy on when it was too cold, and two, after putting it on, I squeegeed it a little too much, with the plastic scraper I showed you in the last video. Because it was cold, it didn't flow as nicely as it should. But overall, I am happy with how this looks. I will take a sandpaper. I got a little sander here, and I'll sand it. And I'm getting that same waxy sort of look on the edges on over here, couple places. And I think that's just because it's a little bit thick, and it hasn't fully cured all the way through. Come over here. I've actually got this thing hanging off the ceiling at the moment because I needed to lift it up in order to get at it to work on it. But I'd come over here and get you a good look at the side. Again, I'm not really sure how well this is going to look, but I mean the side is really nice. I've got a couple air pockets that I'll cut that with a razor knife. I just got a cheap knife there. I cut it with my utility knife, sand it, put another little patch. I've got some leftovers over here. There's a couple spots. You can't even see this because it's just too dark in here right now. But there's a spot right here. A little bit right here. Actually, that's just a little bit of dust from the sanding. And then this edge, I'm going to probably split it. I'll cut it right about there. And then I'm just going to fill in with epoxy and then put another patch over there. Like I said, this side turned out fairly well all the way down. This other side, now, before I get too in depth, before I show you this other side, I'll explain what happened. Bolt was sitting outside on the ground, and when I flipped it over to bring it in here, I really didn't look at it. I should have. But I brought it in here. It was sitting on upright as it should be, like opposite from what it is now. I did the fiberglass on the inside. Then I flipped it, laid the cloth down, started fiberglassing, still didn't look at the boat. Should have. All the way down, and I hope you can see this. You can see I've started sanding there, but you can see there's a dark patch right here. I've cleaned all of it out right here, but there's still a little bit of a dark spot there. And here, and all in here, and here, and here. And again, I know you can't see this. Here. Probably about 20% of this side of the boat has dirt on it. It was sitting on the ground, dirt stuck to it. When I lifted the boat up to bring it in here, the dirt was still stuck to it. by the time I noticed what was going on, there was nothing I could do about it. I had completely fiberglass the top, completely fiberglass the far side. I had started putting epoxy on this side, and the dirt, because when you apply the epoxy to the fiberglass goes clear. So I could see the dirt behind the fiberglass. And at that point, it was a choice of either pull the fiberglass back, try and scrape as much of it as I could, or lay the fiberglass in. It was already half laid, and clean it up later. So I opted to clean it up later. And actually, most of it I won't even bother with. But there are a few pieces that are large enough they created air bubbles. So I gotta go back and sand that and clean it up. But overall, turned out pretty well. Right in here is another spot that I'm probably gonna go and cut it and pour in some epoxy. And I mean, overall, the finish is pretty nice. I'll come in here with some, but overall it worked out okay. You can see on the ground, like again, I know it's dark, but you can see right here there's some shiny spots. That's where it all dripped. When I turn this thing over, I'm gonna have, you can see it better. Oh, see it better on this side over here. But when I turn this thing over, I'm gonna have like knife edges ready to stab me. Here's a nice good one. If I can reach it. Comes all the way down to here. But I got the Dremel out. All I'm gonna do is run along here with the Dremel, and should do it. So overall, although I did not do probably as good of a job as I could have done, I am happy with the progress and the product. For the first time doing any fiberglassing, there's a slightly better version of the sanding that I've been doing. You can see all those dirt marks. But I've run into a bit of an issue. It's just not warm enough out here, even with the furnace going, to properly cure this stuff. So I'm sanding through a hardened layer and then hitting a soft layer below that. So I don't know what I'm going to do. This may very well be the last video for my boat for this year. I think I'm going to put it to the side. I might actually even strap it to the ceiling just to get it out of the way. And give it a week. Come back to it, say Wednesday next week, and see how it is. It is entirely possible that I'm finished for the year. So I guess that's it. You guys have yourselves a good day.